Have you heard of the book, The 4-Hour Work Week? What a dream that would be. The first time I had a look at that book, I thought, fairy tale, this is definitely not possible. Because my mind was thinking, you have to work a lot of hours for you to actually make it in life. There's no such thing as working only 4 hours and making enough money to do whatever you want. Welcome to another review where we review books, concepts, things that might help us when it comes to self-mastery or improving the way we do life or the way we do our entrepreneurship. And today we're looking at the book by Tim Ferriss called The 4-Hour Work Week. The 4-Hour Work Week is for those people who are tired of deferring their retirement life and living life right now and enjoying it right now and making enough money for them to do that. So in the 4-Hour Work Week, Tim Ferriss talks about all the rewards of having to work and enjoy life right now and without having to wait until the end of your career. So basically taking retirement and bringing it closer to where you're at right now in your life. Hey fam, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome. We're super glad that you decided to join us. So on this channel we talk about all things self-mastery, entrepreneurship and money. So if that's your type of jam, do the right thing and stick around. Click on the subscribe button, click on the like button and on the notification button so that you can be notified every time when we put out another video. I'm glad you stopped by, and I do hope that you enjoy what we talk about here, so you can be part of the family. So we're reviewing the 4-Hour Work Week. I don't have a hard copy of this book, but I did read an electronic copy. I do plan to get a hard copy though, because it's one of those books that I want to read maybe at least once a year. Now, initially when I saw this book, I thought, okay, impossible. But then again, because I was somebody who is looking for ways that you can work less but be impactful when it comes to your business. As much as I didn't really believe what the book was saying when I saw it at first, I was very curious because I thought, maybe somebody found a method on how we could actually work less hours but be able to live life to the fullest right now. And the 4-Hour Work Week was that book. Now, Tim Ferriss, who wrote the book, says a lot of stuff. And yes, some of the things that he says, maybe I don't agree with, but most of the stuff that he talks about in the book, I think were quite eye-opening. And he gives a lot of tools and a lot of methods that one can use to actually moving yourself from where you're at to a point where you don't have to be tied down by your work, but you are able to work less and then spend most of your time actually enjoying the things that you want to enjoy in your life. He talks about the new rich. The new rich is basically the people who are able to do less work but be impactful and be able to enjoy the things that they love in their lives. But also it's all about not buying a lot of things but being able to buy a lot of experiences. And he also talks about how easy it actually can be for you to fund a life that you really want. Maybe you are somebody who wants to travel, maybe you're somebody who wants to experience a lot of things, but you are tied down with the job that you're doing because you can't just willy-nilly take up leave anytime and go and explore. So he talks about how one can actually take their life and set them up to be able to live as if you're already retired while you are still earning an income. And then he talks about the deferrers. The deferrers are the people who save for the future, for retirement. I mean, that is basically the norm, that you have to work now for the next 5, 6, 10, 20, 30 years. And then only you can take time out and live life the way you want to. Experience the things you want to experience. Go to places that you want to go to. The problem with that is that by the time you get there, you might not have the time and the energy for you to actually pursue the things that you want to do. So Tim Ferriss is all about the new rich that go for what they want, that are able to afford what they want, and the deferrers who wait and save for retirement. Now, I don't want to be a deferrer. I want to live life now. But there's always a but. We still want to make sure that we are able to live, right? We are able to make a living. And so I thought some things were quite interesting from this book, and I'm going to pick out just some few things that I thought stood out for me. But if you are able to grab a copy, especially if you're somebody who's looking for time freedom, who is looking to remove yourself from your business or even career or work, because he doesn't just focus on business, but he talks about how you can approach your career or your work, that you are not location dependent, but you are able to take your work wherever you're at. So Tim talks about strategies that can take you from wherever you are and to become part of the new rich. And those strategies basically spell the word deal. And D is basically definition, defining what fears you have. So if you have a certain life that you're dreaming about, maybe you want to travel, okay? What are the fears that you have? Define the fears. Define those things that are stopping you from actually going for the life that you want. So it's basically all about introducing new things that you can do, new ways that you can overcome the fear or the obstacles or whatever is it that's stopping you from actually living the life that you really want. And then it's got the E, which is elimination. This is eliminating absolutely everything that you do that you are not supposed to do or that you don't have to do. So he basically says, forget time management. How about you focus on the things that are actually going to be impactful in your life? Eliminate everything else that you don't have to do, or everything else that does not count, or everything else that does not give any impact, and focus on the things that are actually going to give you the biggest impact. And then he's got the A that talks about automation. I mean, we've been speaking a lot about automation, and again, that was the reason why I was drawn to this book, because automation, but it's all about putting your processes, putting your money or putting your income on automation so that you remove yourself from being the main person who makes sure that you are getting paid. So automate the way that you get paid. And then the L is about liberation. Liberation is all about taking yourself out of your daily life. If you've automated your system, if you've eliminated everything that is standing between you and where you want to go, then you can liberate yourself, which means you are free to actually travel wherever you want to go, do whatever you want to do. So you're liberated from one single location. You are able to do your work, do whatever you need to do wherever you are. Music to my ears. If you know me, then you know that that is one of my biggest non-negotiables. I want a business that does not tie me down to one location so that I have time freedom. And I'm able to carry on doing the things I need to do wherever I'm at and at a convenient time for me. So deal. Deal is what Tim Ferriss basically talks about. So those are the key points that he has in the entire book. But I also want us to talk about some nuggets that I got out from reading this book and some concepts that I started looking at differently after I read the book. Now, one of the first things that also stood out for me that Tim talks about in his book is called relative income. So relative income is all about time. Making sure that you understand that time is also a currency. So if we put this into an example, is basically saying, let's say you've got two people. You've got Tom and you've got Jane. Tom makes R1 million a year, but Tom has to work 50 hours a week for him to make R1,000,000 a year. Okay? And then we've got the second person, which is Jane. Now, Jane makes only 500,000 a year, but Jane only works 20 hours a week for him to actually make 500,000 a year. Now, if you just normally look at that, you can say that Tom makes the biggest amount of money from Jane. But now let's look at this differently. For Tom to make R1,000,000, he has to work 50 hours a week, which is a lot of hours for a person to work. But for Jane, who only makes 500,000, but only works 20 hours a week. Now, Jane may only need 500,000 for her to survive, but she doesn't have to work a lot of hours for her to get that 500,000 versus Tom, who has to work almost every day, every hour for him to get the R1,000,000. So if you understand relative income, you understand that time is actually also a currency. So don't just look at the amount of money you're getting, but look at the time that you have to put in there for you to get this money. And then when you start looking at it that way, you get to see that, yes, I make this amount of money, but it takes me so much hours for me to get there. So Jane is actually better off than Tom is when it comes to relative income. So it's important for you to understand your relative income and understand that time is just as much of a currency as money is. The second thing that I liked about what Tom says, and he emphasizes on this, is the 80-20 rule. I spoke about the 80-20 rule in one of the videos. We didn't go deep into it, and maybe this is something that I can make a whole video about. But Tim Ferriss talks about the 80-20 rule, about you eliminating the things that don't matter. So this basically says you look at your business processes, or you look at the things that you are doing on a daily basis, and you eliminate the things that don't give you the biggest impact. Now, usually, you'll find that 20% of the things that you're doing give you 80% of your income, or 80% of your bottom line. Now, all you need to do is then eliminate everything else that does not give you a big impact, and you focus on doing the 20% that gives you the most impact. So you will find, it's actually funny that you will find that the few things you do in a day, and I bet you, go ahead and actually audit your time and audit what are you doing in a day, and then highlight in green the things that you do in a day that are actually going to impact your bottom line. And you'll see that 80% of them, they actually don't matter. And they do not translate into real money. So this is where you need to eliminate, automate, and delegate the 80% of the things that do not translate into money. Parkinson's law also comes in here a lot, because Parkinson's law basically says that if you're going to give a task 8 hours, then this task will take you 8 hours. But if you're going to give a task 2 hours, then this task will take 2 hours. Parkinson's law says work expands to fill the time allocated to its completion. If you've allocated 8 hours for a certain task, it will take you 8 hours. But if you allocate 2 hours to a certain task, then it will take you 2 hours, because your brain, you've told your brain that I've got 2 hours for this. So your brain is going to make sure that it focuses, and it's going to fetch and gather all the things that it needs for you to finish this task in 2 hours. Unlike if you say 8 hours, then your brain relaxes and says, okay, I've got 8 hours, and it will take you 8 hours to complete that certain task. So very important for you to understand the 80-20 rule and to apply it into your business, so that you make sure that you get a lot done with a minimal amount of time that you have available. Do little, that translates into real money. And the third thing he talks about, which we've mentioned, is automating your income, making sure that you are able to remove yourself from the day-to-day of your business. Because you either become a business owner or you run a business. And if you run a business, then your business could actually end up running you. But if you are able to remove yourself from your business, if you are able to automate the way you make money. Last week we spoke about passive income ideas. If you're able to grow a side hustle into a main hustle, something where you do a little bit of work, but it keeps on paying you without you having to go back and putting in more work. To understand what pays you and try and automate it as much as you can so you can remove yourself from the business. Basically, they say removing yourself as a bottleneck. And the fourth thing he talks about, which is one of my favorites actually, is having a mini retirement life. Because life is for the living and we need to live life right now. We're so used to, I have to wait until I retire. I have to wait until I have more money. I have to wait until I have more time. But when is that going to happen? So it's all about taking your life and thinking about it as having mini retirements. All the things that you are deferring to retirement, bringing them closer and actually start doing them now. So it's all about the Ferriss and the new rich. The Ferriss, they defer their dreams. They defer everything they want to do to when they retire, whenever that is. But the new rich basically build their life around what they want to do, and they make sure everything else adapts to the way they want to live their lives, and they enjoy life right now, not in the future. Because let's face it, we don't know where the future is going to take us. We don't even know how long it's going to take us for us to get to where we want to be. So how about we start living the life or creating the life that we want and the business that we want right now? I really thought that was great because it's one of the things that I want to do. I want to strive to make sure that I can live at least pieces of the life that I want right now without having to wait until the time is right or things get better or I have more money or I have more time. That brings us to our fifth one, which is integrating your life and your business. I know sometimes we want to separate our personal life from our businesses. But if you are in a conscious business and your business pays for your livelihood, then you want to build your business around your life. You want to build your business around the type of things that you want to do. You want to build your business around the type of activities that you want to do. So if your business is going that way and your life is going that way, it's going to be very difficult for you to merge the two. But if your business is surrounded with the type of things that you enjoy doing, then it will be easy for you to actually build a business that is going to allow you the type of life that you love or that you aspire to build. Now, Tim Ferriss says a lot of things in this book, but I do think that he has some great concepts. He's got some great methods. In the book, he even gives you a whole list of websites and platforms that you can check out to help you become part of the new rich. If you think that becoming part of the new rich is something that you want to explore, or maybe even just look at the types of methods and the type of things that he talks about, then I would recommend that you check out the 4-Hour Week. It's a good read and it's not a long read. And just hear about what he says when it comes to being a deferrer or becoming part of the new rich. And no, I don't think that after reading the book you can sort out your life and start working 4 hours a week. That would be a dream. But I do think you will get some nuggets in there, you will get some pointers, and you get some concepts and methods that can help you at least start building your life or start building your business or even your work or career in a way that it accommodates the type of life that you want to start living. So check out the 4-Hour Work Week, and if you have read it, please do comment and let me know what you think about it. Do you think that it's something that's possible? Do you think that's something that you could try out? What do you think about the new rich? What do you think about the Ferriss? Where are you and where do you want to go? Thank you so much for watching up until the end. I hope that the review was good and I hope that it gave you some ideas about the 4-hour work week. Maybe you've seen people talk about, maybe you've heard about the book or you've seen it or whichever way, and maybe you're looking for a new read. It's something that you can check out, especially if you are looking at building your life business and you want to build your life around your business or a location independent lifestyle or a location independent business. Then I do think it's one of the books that you can check out, and it might give you different perspective about how we approach our businesses and how we approach our lives. I must say that as much as it was something that's always been in my head, reading the book did give me some other different perspective and aha moments about things that I could tweak and change when it comes to the way that I was approaching my business and my life and my career. So do check it out and let me know what do you think. If you're looking at automating your business, do check out a video that I did about automating your business if you're a busy mom, a busy entrepreneur, or a solopreneur, and you want to remove yourself from most of the processes in your business. Do check out that video, and I hope that it does help you. Thanks again for stopping by. See you on the next video.